have you ever wondered why people don't get somewhere? Like, they understand every single step involved, they know what it takes to walk those steps to get to a result, but they still don't get there. They maybe don't humble themselves, or they don't understand what's going on. If you look across anyone who's human, unanimously, you will notice a pattern where it comes to judgment. And our judgment is not very good. Although there are some things, and this video is going to be all about how we recognize judgment that we shouldn't be having, and we focus on building systems that have judgment that actually work. And then using that, you're going to be able to implement it. You're going to be able to, probably from a muscle growth standpoint, build more muscle. But even in your daily life, you're going to be able to set goals and be able to get them better, because no one likes wasting months and years going down that kind of spiral of trying and not really getting somewhere. And the big problem with that, which you might have noticed in yourself or other people, is the longer the time goes by, the less likely you're going to fix it, because you start to cope, you start to get used to the patterns. And so this is kind of just the idea, the simple question of what judgment is. Now, if I have a goal, I'm just going to ask, do I feel like I'm making good progress? That is how I look at the goal. That's how I judge whether or not I'm actually doing a good job. But the problem is, it can be based in emotion and it can be based in data. And most of the time, we're basing it in emotion. Now, the thing about this is, which kind of makes it a shame as well, is a lot of the time people doing this, they actually have expectations so improbable that it's almost like the lottery. And when I say that, I don't mean that you're not going to be able to do it, right? Because, Elon Musk started from scratch and he got somewhere. But when I'm talking about improbable expectations, I'm saying you're not going from really, really, really bad in something to a world elite where you're the best there could possibly be. That's not an overnight thing. You're not even aiming to be a world elite, because that doesn't even make sense. You're aiming just to be good. And then when you get to good, you can focus on being great. But it makes no sense to have these improbable expectations. You got to get to the place first to then get to the next place. But that's not the point. The point is, we have this emotion and we have this data. And emotional answers are really, really easy. And they're so easy because for most people, that's the only answer there is. If I want to ask myself, do I feel like I'm making good gains? I can look in the mirror and get an emotional answer. But you can see why we'd want to avoid them. Now, I don't know about you, but when it comes to the mirror, the way I look changes. It changes each day. I might have a week where I have better pumps. I might have a week where, for whatever reason, I don't know, because of pre-workout I'm taking, I'm more vascular, or I have a better pump, or maybe I got better sleep one week and I just visually look better. But it has nothing to do with if I actually made good progress, if I put on muscle. It's hugely emotion based. And there's also another part of that emotion based. It's the fact that if I feel like I look good, if I'm happy, I'm probably going to think that. That's kind of how it works. If I feel like I look good, I'm probably happy. And if I feel like I look bad, I'm probably not happy. And those two things are actually connected, where if you wanted to guess whether or not you think you're going to look good, just look at your emotion. And if your emotion's really, really, really good, you're going to think you look sick. That's just the nature of things. You're going to be hyped up, you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to go like, that's how I look. And the next day you could be in a completely awful mood. You could actually look better. For whatever reasons, maybe some water's flushed out, you look a bit drier, you're not as inflamed, you can see a little bit more separation. Maybe you got a little bit of a pump from, I don't know, you did some push-ups in the morning for fun, but you don't feel good. And you look in the mirror, you actually objectively look better, but you think, I don't look good. And that's kind of what is important to know. Whatever it is goal-wise, if it's trying to gain muscle, if it's trying to earn more money, if it's trying to build savings, if it's literally anything in life, we need to take a look at what actually matters, the data side. I'm not saying the emotion side is something we completely ignore, but if we really want to be looking at progress, engaging progress, we need to be looking at numbers, right? How is my strength in the gym? Am I making more money than last month? Am I saving more money than last month? Am I paying away some of my debts, some of my liabilities? Have I been reducing my spending, cutting back on subscriptions? I don't know, whatever it is, you need to have something numerical to base things on. And even if it's not the perfect thing numerically, the more you gauge whether or not things are working, the more doors open up. If I start focusing on running out of nowhere, I'm like, I really want to be good at running. And I pick a random kilometer and I'm like, I want it to be this time. And I keep on looking at the data of how long it's taking me to run a kilometer. And then after a little bit of looking at the numbers, I start to realize, it's not just one fluid speed. I'm actually doing different speeds throughout. And then maybe I take a look at those and I open that door and I'm like, let me look at the blocks where I'm going fast and blocks I'm going slow, and how can I change this? How can I have more fast blocks or faster fast blocks or faster slow blocks? How do I rest? How do I recover? You start asking these questions, and because we're not just doing emotional, like I'm just doing a run and I go, yeah, that felt all right, that felt good today. Because I'm not relying on that, I'm able to go forward. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you're interested in stuff like this, check out the newsletter, and it will help you